candidates, thank you for coming out tonight. Please finish this sentence, and this is for all of you. If the American people should choose former President Donald Trump to return as Commander-in-Chief, then blank. Mr. Garvey, we would start with you.
Well, I think the single greatest currency we have is the right to vote. And I think we should take this personally. And I think when we vote for a president and he's duly elected, I believe we should support that president, support the office, because that's the leader of the United States, the free world.
Congressman Schiff?
If Donald Trump is elected president, then we are, and it rhymes with crude. He is the gravest threat to our democracy in our history. He tore down our institutions. He incited a violent attack on our Capitol. The best thing that we can do, and I've gone toe-to-toe with him, and if need be, I will go to toe-to-toe with him again to defend our democracy. But his election would be the gravest threat in our country's history, certainly its modern history.
Congresswoman Lee, let me repeat the question. Please finish the sentence. If the American people choose former President Donald Trump to return as Commander-in-Chief, then blank.
I'm going to say first, I believe that our Republican opponent here on this stage has voted for Donald Trump twice, according to public reports. That agenda is an agenda to dismantle our democracy. And so if anyone on this stage believes that Donald Trump should be president because of his position to dismantle this democracy, then where are we here as a state and a country? So I will fight to make sure that we protect our freedoms, to protect our democracy, and to protect Donald Trump from ever again running for public office. And right now, I'm taking him to court. I'm the lead plaintiff in the NAACP lawsuit to hold him, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers accountable. He is not above the law.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Congresswoman Porter, if the American people choose former President Trump to return as Commander-in-Chief, then blank.
Then we will lose credibility on the world stage. It will set us back decades in terms of diplomacy and being able to build democracies around the world. It will cause us to lose senior military leaders who refuse to serve under somebody who was engaged in inciting an insurrection, and it will weaken the diverse recruitment of the military that we need to keep our country safe.
And I just want to underscore what Barbara Lee said. Mr. Garvey, you won't tell the public whether you're going to support this man again. You voted for him twice. You saw what he did on January 6th. You have to see what a threat he is to the country. I can understand you don't want to alienate MAGA world by saying you're against him, but you also won't stand up to him. What more do you need to see of what he's done to be able to say that you will not support him, that you will not vote to put him back in office? What more do any of us need to see?
Well, actually, that was going to be my question. So,
I was channeling you, Alex.
Mr. Garvey, we'll give you a minute because that's going to be your topic. Yeah.
I mean, there's identity politics at its finest right there. Trying to paint me into the corner, trying to call me MAGA.
Yeah.
This league tried to paint me in the same corner also. I'm my own man. I make my own decisions. I voted for him twice because
we'd like to
I
know,
thought that he was the best person.
As your own man, what is your decision?
Let him answer. It's his turn.
You're banging on that trash can just like the Astros did a few years ago. And as I will continue, that I think that it's important to, when two people are the final two people, that you choose the person that you felt was the best person for the job. But if his first opponent talked down to the people of this country, his first opponent thought she was entitled.
You're talking about Hillary
Clinton. His second opponent stayed in a basement and only came out in controlled environment.
But they both.
By the way, I wouldn't have voted for President Reagan if he stayed in the basement.
Okay, but
so both times he was the best person for the job. How you feel about him personally is totally different.
But now,
economists say that he did. Economists say, excuse me.
Yeah.
Economists say that he did an exceptional job for our economy. People will say he created jobs for minorities more than any in this history. So you can take things personally, but as far as I'm concerned,
let's keep this together. Let's keep it together. Here's the question. At this point, Donald Trump has been president. Joe Biden has been president. We've seen both of them as president. Are you still undecided if the choice is Donald Trump versus Joe Biden? As you suggested to Politico, you may vote for Joe Biden. How are you undecided, and what would make that decision for you?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so clarify your view then.
When the time comes, I'll do exactly what I said to you. I will look at the two opponents. I will determine what they did. And at that time, I will make my choice. I don't believe Joe Biden has been good for this country. I heard it said that Trump was terrible for the world, right?
Yeah.
He was.
And we were less safe. We were safer more under him than we are under Biden. We're on three different platforms throughout the world.
So Congressmember, he's arguing that we were safer under President Trump. What do you make of what he just said, and what's your response?
Well, California, I think what they say is true. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger. He just chewed up 2.5 minutes of the time to talk about substantive issues in this debate and refused to answer the question. Ballots go out in 6 weeks, Mr. Garvey. This is not the minor leagues. Who will you vote for?
It is important that California voters know who is who and what these candidates stand for. And you cannot waffle on this.
Okay.
You have to say if you support the MAGA extremist Republican agenda led by Donald Trump to dismantle our democracy.
Okay, that's going to be your minute. Then we're going to do Congressman Schiff's your minute, and then we're going to
address the substance of Mr. Garvey's comments.
Okay.
That somehow the world would be safer with Donald Trump than it would be with Joe Biden. Can you imagine what would take place if Donald Trump was president when Putin invaded Russia and Ukraine needed our help? The same Donald Trump who stood in Helsinki next to Vladimir Putin and took the Kremlin dictator's side over his own country, his own intelligence agencies, who talks about love letters, a loving relationship with the dictator in North Korea. There is no stretch of the imagination, no scenario, no whatever, in which we would be safer. Donald Trump was undermining alliance with NATO. He was saying that he might not even come to NATO's defense. Our standing in the world plummeted. Other nations felt they needed to start to hedge their bets.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to cozy up to China because we can't rely on the United States anymore. That is Donald Trump's national security legacy. We don't want to go back to that.
The United States will not be safer because of Donald Trump. I guess Mr. Garvey has forgotten January 6th. We were sitting on the floor. I had to escape. So did my colleagues. And so, please, the United States will not be any safer, let alone the rest of the world.
Let's wrap this up. I'm going to give you one last chance to respond of 30 seconds. Because they all just attacked you, and there are tens of millions of people that support Donald Trump. Polls show California Republicans he's supported by 2/3. I mean, there are a lot of people in this country that love Donald Trump and think he was a great president. What's your view?
I love how I've stimulated the baseball terms with everybody today. But let's face it. At the end of the day, it's all a personal choice. As my personal choice, I will make it in the sovereignty of wherever that is, and that's my personal choice.
Candidates don't have personal choices when it comes to being elected
exactly
official.
what's got our country to where we are now. Exactly where this state is. It's a one-party state that has only one voice, and that's why I'm running. I want to be a voice of the people.
All right,
I'm here tonight. We're going to keep
we're going to move on.